Guys, welcome to my channel. I'm Toddy, and I'm finally back. I mean, I just got to high school. I want to prepare for my study more, so I'm going to take a bit more time to upload, but I'm back on, and I'm going to start uploading. Let's try to uploading as about one video per week or more. Well, I'm back now, and my voice has changed a lot. Yes, it's really deep now, so I don't know what to do. I wish it can be changed back. I wish I can have my beautiful soprano voice back. Well, anyways, today we're gonna be back in Scratch, and today we are going to be focusing on how to make a walking physics. So, in Scratch, we have many blocks, as you can see here. But today we're only going to be looking mainly around the motions and sensing. So here we have our little character, Sprite 1. We're going to call him the Scratch Cat. Now we have our Scratch Cat. Now, when we name this, it doesn't really affect and shows it in the game. It's only for us to check and basically put it in a more organized position. What we're going to do exactly is we're going to go to the events and we're going to grab a when green flag clicked. This is essential because in Scratch, this is probably the most used block that everyone uses. Well, not the most used block, but probably very important. This is essentially when we click on the green flag. This is where the start command happens. Now, this button is really important. One reason for is to start the show, starting the game exactly, but also there's a command where we can set off and tell a message when the game is starting. So when we have this block, we're going to go to the motions, and we can just drag and move 10 steps. Now what this is going to happen is, when I click the green flag, the Scratch Cat should move 10 steps, but the legs aren't going to move because I've not told it to do. So it should only just teleport 10 steps away. There we go. As you can see now, it's X10. We're going to set it back to 0. And if we click again, it should move by 10x. And if we keep on clicking, it will move to the edge of the game. Now, we want to control this. We don't just want to use the green flag as a control button. That would be very bad. But also mainly, we can't make the Scratch Cat go to the negative position of the X value, which is why we need something called the sensing. The sensing, essentially now, is where we can have a command for a specific key to be pressed on. However, as you can see, I can't just drag it to the when green flag clicked block, as it isn't a block specifically. We have to put it in something, and that's why we need the control. Now, when it says control, it doesn't really says to control something. It's more mainly like a wire adapter where you control it, the function, by giving it a command, not giving the control as the event. It's kind of confusing, but we'll get to that later. So now, what we're going to do is we're going to give the move block, and we're going to delete it, and we're going to take the if, then block. Now, what we can do now is if key space press, then now we don't want a space, right? Because they're going to be very confused. We want to make it the arrows keys, or WSD. But for now, we're just going to be doing the arrow keys. So if we want the Scratch Cat to go right, then we go to the right arrow, because that is where our key is going to be, our hotkey. Now, if key right arrow pressed, then we can do move 10 steps. Now remember, moving 10 steps, that is in the positive value. Positive values means going to the right, and negative values means going to the left. This is very important, because if we get that mixed up, the controls are all going to be messed up. Now, we're going to grab another if, and we're going to place it under the if block that we currently have right now. And we're going to repeat what we just did by pressing key space pressed, and we change this to the left arrow instead now. Now that we have this all done, we can go to the motions and graph move 10 steps. And we have to remember turning the 10 steps into a negative 10. So we can make sure that it goes left. Now there is only one last step to do, and that is to put it in a forever loop. Because if we only press the green flag, the cat is not gonna move, because we're only doing a split second. If I do, for example, repeat 10, it's probably only gonna do 10 seconds, which is why we need the forever loop for this command to go on forever. It's a good habit to always get when a green flag clicked and a forever loop at every start of the code, because they're probably important to every single code and events. So now that we got this ready, let's go ahead and start this show. Now I'm pressing left arrow, it's going left, which is really great. And if I do press right arrow, it's going right. But there's a problem right now. See, when the scratch cat is going right, it's facing the place where I want it to. But when it's going left, it's facing backwards. It's essentially doing like a moonwalk. Now, if we want to do that, we're going to have to go to the costumes. Now, we're going to go delete the second costume because it's not important right now. Right now, we only need the first costume. We want it to walk forward and backwards right now. We don't want to jump or anything. So, what we can do right now is we can duplicate this costume. Now, Scratch is really simplified. Essentially, it's just like doing a play, a drama, or a show. You can have different costumes to it. Now, instead of costumes, we're just going to be changing how the character's perspective is. So what we're going to do is we're going to drag and select the entire cat, and we're going to flip it the opposite way. We can just click the flip horizontal, and it will automatically flip it for us. And there we go. Now one more problem. Now that we have this left, it's facing the opposite way again. How can we stop this? You see, we have to change it by going to looks. In looks, there's something called a switch costume too. Now, we can organize this by calling this one costume 1 walking right, and costume 2 to walking left. Now that we got this, for the costumes, it's going to be really easy. Now, if the key is pressing right and it's going right, then we want the costume to be right. And if it's going left, we want the costume to be facing left. And now, it's all done. I go left, it's facing that way. When I go right, it goes that way. And it looks pretty awesome, in my opinion. Now, this is really essential. This is really, really basic. And if we want to add any other detail, you can do so by going to motions, maybe changing the speed of where the cat is going, or anything, basically. Now, it's going left and right, right? But when the game ends and we go back, it's still in the position where we left off with. So let's say if we stay it here and we press the green flag, it's still going to stay here. Now, what if we don't want that? We want every game to start as the cat to be in the center. That is really easy. We're going to go ahead and get a go-to block to the when green flag is clicked, and we change everything to 0. Now, you might ask, why don't I put this blue block into the forever loop? Wouldn't it just be like every time I click this green flag, it's going to stay in the forever loop? But here's the thing. we only want the cat to go to the 0, 0 place at every start of the game, not forever, because we want to move him around. So now we end the game and we start the game. It should start as how we want it to. And now maybe you don't want to face it left. We can change it to facing it right. You can basically play around with this simple command. This command is really, really basic. And if you are making a 2D or a 3D game, this is probably the most basic command there is out there. I'm not adding any variables or blocks. It's just forever loops, censoring, and motions. And there aren't much to it. Now, here's the thing. This is a walking physics, and we can see it's walking pretty well. If we want the legs to move, then we can do something like this. We can go ahead actually get, not a paint, we can go choose something that like have legs to move around. So Ben have legs, but it doesn't move around. You gotta look for something like Giga walking. Giga walking is really good because it's just basically walking, right? So we can basically get Scratch's thing. We can just copy everything into here. We will delete Giga Walk 3. Now we have Giga Walk 2, and basically we can copy in this command, put it into Giga. There we go. And I'm gonna change this to, so here's the thing. We have to take out all of the costumes because we don't need them right now for Giga, because that was for Scratch Cat. So here we can say goodbye to our Scratch Cat. Now we have Giga. So for Giga, we're also going to do the exact same thing. This is Giga going right. This is also going right, but this one's going to be 2. Now we're going to duplicate this. This is going to be called left because Giga is going to be facing left. And same thing with this one, facing left. This is called left 2. Now that we have this, we can play around with this. Click on number 1 and number 2 really fast. Now it kind of look like it's walking. Now this is the physics we wanted to. We didn't draw this. This is what Scratch gave us. So we can now play around with this. So forever, if right key is pressed, then what we're going to do is we are going to do right, and then we're gonna wait, let's say 0 seconds, and we're gonna make it face, we're gonna make it go right 2. And make sure to put the move block on top because we don't want to wait 0 seconds for it to move. So now, if we press right, yeah, it's gonna walk like that. But it's a bit glitchy, as you can see, which is why we're gonna make it 1 second. Now, 1 second probably is a bit too long. Yep. So maybe we can do 0.5. We can test out each of it. 0.5 is also too long. You're going to do 0.2. Nope. Maybe we can do 0.1. That sounds really good. Nope. I guess we can just stick with 0. Yeah. So now that we have this, we're gonna basically repeat the process by doing switch costume to left, and we're going to wait 0 seconds. Make sure to change it to 0, and switch costume to left 2. Now this is gonna look very perfect. It's literally walking with the perfect physics, and we can zoom it up, and he's really seem like he's walking. Now, So this right now, this key is pretty good. I think this is honestly amazing. So this is gonna be much it for this video. This video is all about the motions and physics for Scratch on what we can do with these characters, and I'll see you guys next video. Oh, and also, by the way, my Scratch has been improved a lot more since I've uploaded my past few videos, so you can just consider them to be a failure, I guess, because I find my Scratch programming skills to be much more better. I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.